another stream. Today, I want to talk about the Basis 3 number 2. So, if you're scratching your head and you're wondering what the hell is the Basis 3, to give you a little bit of a rundown on what the Basis 3 is essentially, last year I worked on putting a free album together that had 10 tracks, and I aimed at releasing it for Christmas, and essentially it just didn't really work. So um, it worked and it didn't work. So um, I had the idea to put this album together, 10 tracks that you could download for completely free, and it was my way of saying thank you to people that had supported me over the course of the sort of last couple of years, or I suppose in a way, my whole music journey. And I got some way into making the album, and I moved into a shared accommodation. I won't go too much into how horrible that was, but I moved right through development of the album, and then I got really busy with work, and I always said from the off, like, I don't want to just rush the album to get it out, and then I kind of did end up just rushing the album to get it out. So I wasn't completely happy with the outcome of the full album. There were some tracks on there that were absolutely amazing, and they're definitely, like, go and get them off the album. But there was a couple of tracks on there that just wasn't really too good for me. So there was one track on there that was it was a track called All Night Long, and in the end the track wasn't completely finished, and then I like really rushed to get it finished, and there was like a bass sound in there in the breakdown, and it didn't sound good. It wasn't at the right level, and I just don't feel. I feel like the track was just a little bit flat. It just needed a bit more to it, and I rushed to get it out, and then I put a remix on that album of Neo, Let Me Love You, and that version of the track was the levels on it just work completely 100%, and I put it out on the album. And then there was another track. It was a remix of Neo. It was Beautiful Monster, and the again, the levels, the bass in it was just far too loud, the actual donk bass, but it didn't. It was too loud, but it sounded flat, and it just didn't really fully work. And there was another track on there which was called Thinking About You, and that was also just, it was just a little bit flat, or it was Thinking of You or something. So I was never completely fully happy with the track. The rest of the tracks on that album, they were good. I put my Butterfly Ninja on there. I put Too Close on there, and I also put my Lonely Sex Shooter on there, and they were really good. They were amazing. I also put a remix of Something About You on there as well. But I also kind of always feel that the album was kind of overshadowed. And when I first put the feelers out for the album, everybody was like, yeah, yeah, we'd love an album, yeah, do it, Noble. But then when it came to releasing it, I don't even really know if hardly anybody even downloaded it, which was a little bit of a shame. The promotion on it just, absolutely lacked. So, the question that lies, and the question that I propose is, do I do like a volume two? Do I do like a second album that would be even better than the first album? So, if I was to do a second album, there would be a couple of changes. So, the format would stay the same. So, there would be 10 tracks. You'd get the 10 tracks for free. That would be completely the same format. However, the things that would change, or I suppose that the one thing that would change, and the thing that really needs to change, is when the album comes out. So what I would change about when this album comes out is to not give a deadline for when the album will come out. So for example, rather than having a deadline to work towards, what I would probably rather do is have the album near completion, and then kind of like tease a little something, album coming soon, that kind of thing. And then once I know that I've got enough tracks that are there and enough tracks that are ready, then I can say, look, the album's gonna come out on such and such a date, rather than saying now, I'm gonna get this album done by the end of the summer, and then thinking, crap, I've got to get 10 tracks completed by the end of the summer, and then sort of like trying to rush and trying to get things ready in time. Whereas if I just have as long as I want to kind of get tracks ready, and if I make something and then I haven't got an idea of what I'm going to do with it, or I don't send it to labels, I can put it aside, and I could put it to go towards the album, for example. Do I believe in aliens? I don't really. I'm not really gonna say yes or no, because I'm not really sure, to be completely truthful with you. If you'd have asked me a couple of years ago, I'd have probably said like no, I don't believe in aliens. Ask me now, I'm a little bit unsure. My way of thinking and my thoughts, and like the whole way I view life has changed a lot over the past couple of years. Um, so I'm a little bit like, I don't completely believe that, I don't completely believe that there isn't aliens, but at the same time, um, I don't believe that there is. I'm a little bit unsure. But I'm definitely, I'm not completely like, yeah, they don't exist. I'm kind of a little bit like, just unsure. I've had a few experiences, not with aliens, but I've had a few experiences where my way of thinking has been kind of been forced to change, because I've seen things in different ways. It's really hard to explain. But one of my friends, he is kind of like, he's a bit of a truther, and well, he's a big truther. And when I met this guy, like, there was a lot of things I didn't believe in, like to do with religion, ghosts, all that kind of stuff. So um, and then since meeting him, like, loads of mad and weird things have happened, and we've gone on this like mad journey. My change of thinking has. Yeah. Yo, Noble, how are you doing, man? Just wondering where the Ed Sheeran beat freestyle video went. Couldn't find it. Which one? Which one is it? Because um, there's one Ed Sheeran beat. Well, there's two Ed Sheeran beats, that I can remember, that I have done, that I've MC'd over, and one of them was, oh, I'm trying to think. Um, so there was one, and it was the one that he did with Eminem. Um, I don't. Was it called River or something like that? Basically, Ed Sheeran sung the chorus, and then Eminem obviously did the rap bits, and I got the instrumental, but I got instrumental with hooks. So when I did my version, the chorus was still there, but Eminem's part was missing. So I just did the I did filled in the rapping myself. And then I did do a Shape of You. I did it with a guy who I used to MC with. I no longer MC with him anymore. I haven't spoken to the geezer for nearly 3 years now. That beat, I couldn't tell you where it is or what it was called. I think at the time it was something he found, and I think it was on an app. So I can't remember what the beat is. As for the video, it's still on my YouTube channel, so you have to scroll down. And bearing in mind, I've done a hell of a lot of things since putting that video up. So um, if I could meet Eminem, who would you want to? Um, in all honesty, I'm not really fussed about meeting any of them. To be honest, I mean, like what people don't understand is and don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna blow smoke up my own arse here, but being a DJ, I've like gotten the opportunity and the chance to go on some hefty lineups, you know. Some of I mean, I'm into rave music and dance music, and I've been on lineups with like some of the biggest names in our scene. You know, I've either gone in the second room or warmed up the main room. And at the end of the day, no matter like what these people hold and what these people do and or what these people have done over the years, they're still just a normal person at the end of the day. You know, they go to the toilet, they shit, they piss, they eat food, they go to bed at night. Um, and one thing that a lot of artists don't like and a lot of artists get sick of is people that want to bow down to them and people that want to bug them, people that want to harass them. And what you've got to remember, like people like Eminem, people like Ed Sheeran, they've been on the go for a lot of years. And same with some of these dance music, DJs, rave DJs. Some of them that they've been on the go since the 90s. And since the 90s until now, how many people do you think have gone up to them and said like, oh, you're an amazing person, I love your music. And don't get me wrong, it's not that they're bad, the bad compliments, because they're not. And 9 times out of 10, like, people that like that artist or support that artist, they mean well. But because that artist has heard it for years and heard it from so many thousands of different people going, you're amazing, I love your music, it gets a little bit, like they get fed up of it. So if you can just, if you meet that person, and I don't know, like he might be called, I don't know, DJ Extreme, but his real name is Darren, and you just, you go, all right, Darren, how you doing, Darren? And give them that little bit of normality, because what you've got to understand is they're on a little bit of a different level. So somebody who just sort of just acts friendly to them and it just genuinely asks if they're all right, and you can have a conversation about anything other than music, believe it or not. 9 times out of 10, they'll probably respect you and like you more for it. Whereas if you get down on your knees and go, I love your music, you're the best person in the world, because they've heard it for that long and they've heard it for that many years, not that they're being horrible, but they get sick of it. They get completely sick of it. So I love Ed Sheeran in that movie. He was in The Young Sheldon. But yeah, Billy agrees. But it's true. It's true. They've gone to thousands of shows, concerts. They've toured, thousands of arenas over the years. Loads of people have come up to them and wanted pictures and called them the best. And whereas if you can just have a bit of normality with them, like, oh, how's your week been? What you've been up to, or what you're doing tomorrow, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, and that's kind of the thing, that's the thing. So for me, meeting them, like, don't get me wrong, it's an honor and it's a privilege to meet them. It's amazing to grace the lineups with them. But they're just normal people at the end of the day, and they're no different to us just because they play the decks or they can sing. They're still a person like us. They still live somewhere. They've still got bills to pay. They've still got food to put on the table. Some of them, they can eat out all the time because they've made enough money from record sales. But at the end of the day, they're still a normal person. Do I have pets? Um, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. And I know that sounds like really weird. Like you probably thinking like you either do or you either don't. Um, I used to live at my mum's house. And cut the long story short, the bailiffs came round to evict us. She went into a bit of a dark place and got behind with the rent. And we got evicted. We had a couple of cats. They were more my mum's cats than they were my cats, although I did kind of secretly like them more than I let on, I think. Um, I was just thinking at the time, like, are we going to afford to look after these cats? But, it wasn't that I didn't like them. Anyway, cut the story short, when we got evicted, a friend of my mum's took the cats on, and the cats have been living at his house for quite some time. I moved into a shared house and they had a no pet policy. One of the cats actually went missing and he was never found. He was never returned. The other cat, which is called Bubbles, he basically still lives at my mum's friend's house. He's absolutely just settled in there. He just absolutely loves it there, and he just absolutely smashes life there. And I don't think he could be any happier. He's settled right in. And as I say, when I moved into the shared house, it was a no pet policy. And then I moved out of the shared house and came into this flat, and I am allowed a cat if I want a cat. The only issue is the cat's just settled where he is now, so I'd just rather put him there rather than like bring him here. And then he's got to try and get used to these new surroundings. And not only that, like I'm not at home a lot, so during the day, like for example today, I was out the house just after 9, and I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock tonight, so I was out for a good 12 hours. Well, I say that, I mean I called back home a couple of times, just very briefly, but I was busy with work stuff, so I wasn't really at home. And then on a weekend I go out gigging, so I'd be leaving the cat on its own all the time. Do you know what I mean? So that's unfortunately another reason why I wouldn't take the cat back on. So cats sleep all the time, not nap. Um, I don't know who this guy is, but we'll hide that comment. Oh, another moderator. Oh, all right. um, so catnappers, bacon. Yes, yes. I have 7 cats. Jesus Christ, you have a lot of cats then. We used to have a dog called Tyson. Um, it was um, it was a bit vicious though, and it went for another dog. Well, it went for a few dogs, but it went for this one dog, and this time it bit off more than it could chew. And this dog was actually, quite a stronger dog than him, a more vicious dog than him, and actually bit half of its ear off, which must have really hurt. But it also, I think it bit a woman on the leg. Did our dog, like, because it was just in the moment of like trying to get this other dog, and then like this woman was trying to separate the two dogs. So it wasn't that it viciously just went to get the woman. It just all happened in the moment, and then we used to live near some jippos, and one of the jippos come out and was battering our dog with a stick and trying to free it from this scrap. And in the end, we had to. Well, I didn't want to get rid of him because outside of all of that going on, inside the house, he was a really loving dog. Um, he absolutely adored us. But my mum told me one day that some friends had come to take it for a walk for us, and they never brought him back. I think it was all a plan. I was absolutely devastated at the time, but there you go. This guy's still yapping about his cat. But yeah, we had a dog before the cat, And then when I lived up with my grandparents, well, even longer before then, we had a boxer dog. And we had that dog years. Like I had it since when I was a kid. Um, Sadly died. Died of old age, become ill. So, but yeah, no physical pets at the moment. No physical pets. Um, but yeah, no, we jumped off topic, didn't we? Regarding the album. So yeah, so the bass is free, number two. So for those who have maybe locked into the stream and they haven't got a clue what's going on, so late last year, just sort of around Christmas time, I put an album out for free. It had 10 tracks on it. You could download the 10 tracks for free, and I was never completely happy with the outcome. I moved house into the shared house halfway through production of the album, and I was never happy with the outcome. So I'm proposing the question, and Um, I'm obviously not going to just propose it on here. I'll post it on Facebook. But would people want to see like a volume two? Like an album too. So again, there'd be 10 tracks. They'd be completely free. They'd be all bounce tracks. My own productions, and they would, they'd come out and you'd grab them for free, and it'd just be a present for me to you, for people that have supported me over the years. Especially in the production side of things. So, because I kind of feel like I didn't do what I wanted to do with number one properly, so I'd like to give it another bash. Do you know what I mean? So, obviously, number one it wasn't a fail, but it wasn't a success at the same time. So I would like to bring out like a number two where we could kind of just say, do you know what? We pissed all over number one. And we do something that would be so much more better, which would be really, really good. So we'll have to see. But yeah, if that's something people want to see, I mean, I'll be asked, like I say, I'll be asking on Facebook, I'll be asking on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? To, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, the rhythm helps. Oh God, getting dirty now. But yeah, essentially, um, I'm very tempted on doing a number two of the album, doing like a second edition, if you like. But we'll see. We'll see what people say on all the socials, and we'll just see sort of what happens. Um, but yeah. Um, Apart from that, I'm still producing. I'm still making beats. So, um, can I make a love mix? Um, I mean, I could record a mix and try and pick out like love songs, like that. That's a possibility. Um, it really depends. Like, because it kind of depends like what people want, because some people like say the songs have to actually have the word love in it, but there's like other ways of defining love without like actually saying love. So for me, like, I can think of loads of songs that don't physically say love, but they do kind of like mean like love. Like there's a house track called Deepest Blue, You're My Deepest Blue. Amigos Forever. That is another one. Forever we will be. That forever will be amigos. That is, it's love related, just because it doesn't actually physically say love. So, A love mix is not something I'd really be interested in doing. In all honesty, like don't get me wrong, I don't mind a good love song, but not a full mix. So, love comes in so many forms, like how I love my cat. Love can mean so many things. It can mean so many things. Um, but there we go. I mean, what is love? Two in a corner trying to make three. That's what I was told. That's just an old joke, by the way. Um, can I make a glove mix? I don't even know what one of them is. Um, two in a corner making the bases free. I like that. Do you know what? If I do actually do that, right, like I might have to actually make that as a meme. Two in a corner, making the bases free. It could be like one of them production memes. You got to use the line when emceeing. Well, I mean, you're talking to a retired MC, so well, I say that you. I always really never know how to describe it, but I kind of want to say I'm like a retired MC, but I'm kind of not, but I kind of am. It's really difficult because basically I've decided to take a step back from the mic for the foreseeable, but I'm basically honouring um the bookings that I've already got to MC, and then once I've got like gone through them bookings, like I won't be taking any more MC bookings. Um, so I am kind of like retiring as an MC, but like it's kind of it like I don't know if it'll be permanent. Um, but like at the same time, like I don't know if I would ever go back to it at the same time. So I'm taking a break to focus on DJing. That's like the main thing. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of people followed me because of the MCing. Not when I started DJing. A lot of people know me from the freestyle videos and that, and they want more of that. But unfortunately, I don't. I've done it for 9 years. I've enjoyed it. It was never anything like the MCing for me. It was always just a bit of fun. It was always a bit of fun. I never intended on it going any further than a bit of fun. I was very grateful that I even got, that I've even had paid bookings through MCing. But DJing was always the main passion. One day I was going to go back to the decks. It was always going to happen one day. It did. Now I'm happy as a DJ. I love DJing. So you know. So unfortunately, I've got to do what's going to make me happy. If I do something that makes me miserable, then I'm just going to be miserable, and then I ain't going to put my full percent effort in. Then I'll be MCing shit because deep down I don't want to do it at all. So yeah, you never watched Doctor Who? I've watched it before. I don't really like it. It's not really my type of thing. I'm not really into. Um, again, this is another thing that I find really hard to describe. But when it comes to like watching things and watching movies, I hate things that are like where you go to different dimensions and like I'm not into sci-fi. I'm not into like watching like medieval movies. I like action films, but I like stuff that are kind of somewhat set to more like when I say modern day, I don't mean like has to be like the physical year that we're in. But I like cities, I like cars, I like somewhat what like represents like normal life. So like I like stuff like Damaged with Stone Cold Steve Austin, 12 Rounds with John Cena. Them kind of movies where they're kind of just typical sort of like city life, but like there's lots of action in them. Um, there's lots of fighting, there's lots of shooting. There's a really good movie I like actually called Burnout, and it's not what you think. It's to do with motorbikes, and it's about a guy who is a motorbike racer, but his ex-girlfriend, she's in debt with some loan sharks, and essentially she's got to pay all of this money. um, he steps in and he says that he's going to help her. And essentially, these loan sharks, they have him running drug errands. And because he's a motorbike racer, he uses his motorbike to do these drug runs at night, and to do these jobs. But things get like a whole lot worse. And then in the end, he ends up killing the loan shark people. But it's a good film. It's worth a watch. It's really good. It's really enjoyable. And I like stuff like that. And not stuff that's set. I bet you love the Fast and Furious movies. I like the early ones when they were more race car orientated. Fast and Furious for me was always about like illegal street racing. And then they brought The Rock in, and then it went all like to the point where like they fight on top of aeroplanes and things blow up in the sky. And like I like an action movie, don't like I've said that, but the thing with the Fast and Furious movies, like the original ones, they were always about sort of like I call it like boy racer cars, but they were like legal street racing. Um, and that was what I always liked, Tokyo Drift, sort of one, two, three. But then they started, like I said, they started getting more action. There was more of like an action story behind it. And then they started going across to different countries and doing all these different like action things, and it just became less about the car racing. And it put me off. It put me off, because I watched them originally for the illegal car racing. So um, I love it when you get when they get rich. Oh God, just like place me on. Just like saving Jesus Christ. But in all honesty, I'm not a big film lover. So I've got me certain films that I like now and again. Like if I'm absolutely forced to watch a film, like if I'm unwell, like if I'm not well, so if I'm poorly, and I can do nothing but lay in bed, and I just watch something to pass the time, then I'll put a movie on. But like I'm all about FL Studio. I make music, I DJ. I'm out and about all the time, so watching movies is not really a big thing for me. And there's a lot of movies that you could probably reel them off, and I've never seen them. And will I ever want to see them? Probably not. Again, I just browse for something, and if it looks good, and I'm forced to watch it, like I'm bedridden or something, then I'll click on it and watch it. But apart from that, like I'm not really TV shows. Like I watch the odd TV shows, but even then, I don't watch TV all the time either. I've got a TV behind me, a smart telly. You can't see it for the chair, but I've got that. And I go on the PlayStation on that like every once in a blue moon, and I use it for YouTube when I'm like chilling and just having a bit of food, or like I am watching Britain's Got Talent at the moment. I know a lot of people like that stupid show and it's all fixed. I just watch it for a bit of fun. I like to see who goes on. I like to see who's actually good and who's actually bad. But I watch that. But I don't watch it like live at the time. I just like get it on catch up. So like I hadn't watched this weekend's until tonight. I just come in, I just ate some food and watched it. Um, but yeah, what else are people saying? What is it called? Oh, I use GarageBand. I use GarageBand at work. I work. My job at work is a music job. But what I was gonna say? Yeah, we use GarageBand at work, but I'm FL Studio. It's a proper production software, and that's not me saying that GarageBand is rubbish, because it's not, and you can make some pretty good stuff with GarageBand, and it's really good for like what you can do with it on an iPad. But for me, I'm FL Studio all the way. So yeah, maybe it could be in the basis free. Oh God, no, only donk tracks in the basis free. In the basis free, I got 170k hits. Woo! Go you! Big up your chest, man. Big up your chest inside. Yeah. While we're on the while we're on the talk of like donk and tunes and stuff, um, a friend of mine called Rob, he also makes donk. Um, he makes good donk actually. He's done some pretty good tunes, and he's been really improving with his production as of recently. And we was just talking regarding some tunes and stuff. I was just sending him over some stuff I was making. You know how it goes. Oh, we should make a tune sometime. We should do a collab on something. He was down for doing a collab. So I tossed a little idea to him of a track that I've loved for years, and like to my knowledge, I mean I could be wrong, because it's a big world out there. Um, no one has donked this track to my knowledge, and it's a really old school piano house track, and I love it. It's one of my favourites. The piano melody in it is one of my favourites. So I said, look, I've got this idea, little mashup idea, and I think we should do a donk version of it. And he was down. So I said, look, well, I tell you what, I'll have a look and see if I can work out the notes and write the piano, and I'll get a little start on writing the piano and getting the stems together, and then I'll send it over to you, and you see if you can work some magic with it. So I did that, and then him being the absolute tosspot that he was, didn't download the stems for ages. So we hadn't done anything for months with the track. And I kept nudging him like, have you downloaded that file yet? And then the link had expired, and I'd send him another link, and then he finally downloaded it. And then I heard nothing more until today, when he put a post up about production, and I just happened to say, did you ever open our project file? And he was like, actually, I've got it open right now. Next minute, he's got an idea flowing. And we've got this track now, that's come so nicely together. So I'll give you a little preview, because yeah. So this is just like the fully fledged. This is the fully fledged exported track. From he just sent me the tune over, what he'd done so far. So I haven't got the updated FLP yet. So it's not the actual FLP. It's just the actual track itself. And then I was just trying to see what it would sound like with the vocals to another track, which is the whole mashup idea of what I want to do with the track kind of thing, just to see what they'd sound like. And then he's going to put them in the actual project, I think. But let's have a quick skeg. Here comes the piano, look. And then it builds back up. But yeah, it's a belter of a track. It's a tune. So there's still a few little bits to do on it. But I love it. It's he kind of really hit what I wanted with the track, which was that piano to come through. So I was proper happy with that. Definitely. Um, where is it? There's another track here. Oh yeah. So this guy, you may or may not have heard of him. I want to show you this guy. I've spoke about him a lot of times on the channel because he makes amazing music. So this guy goes by the name of Axel Gear. He also produces UK hardcore under the name Euphian. His real name is Leah Garner, and he does donk under or bounce under Axel Gear. And to be all fairness, there's not one track of his he's put out that has been bad. Like he's put tracks out where like the type of remix he's done has not been my cup of tea, but like everything has always been like top notch on like the production, the quality has always been good within his tracks. And I think about a year ago now, he did a remix of a 70s track, So Excited, by the Pointer Sisters or something. Anyway, he did this remix, and what he did to the donk in that track was phenomenal. It was like the way the donk came in on that track, like it just hit so good and so heavy, and even still to this day, because in the world of donk tunes, they last about they last a couple of weeks and then it's on to the next remix. This one hit hard. I love it. And I've been trying to fight, like I've been waiting for him to make the tune that would kind of like when you mix it in and it just sounds fat as, honestly, I'm gonna swear when it just sounds fat as fuck. I was waiting for him to do that. That next track that would be, that would be on par, if not even better. And then Mr. Axel Gear released a track called Stars, and this hits heavy. This is on par. This has done exactly what I wanted it to do. So I'm proper buzzed. Robin One Hardstyle. I love it when Rob Stonks hits hard and heavy. So this is Axel Gear Stars. I want to show you this. Gonna just skip it in a bit. Are you ready? Here we go. I don't know. Whatever donk bass he used there, that was sick. That has always been sick for me. I'll see if I can get up the So Excited, which I can, because that was really good as well. So I'll show you. So that's the one in the So Excited. I don't know which one's better. I think the one in Stars, it hits a lot more harder. But the like it kind of has that more. It kind of has more like a reverse bass style bass to it, with a bounce feel. Whereas this one it's like full on donk, but it has just a really hard hitting donk on it. Really good. I love it when donk hits hard and heavy. Yeah. So do you know what? So do I. Oh, you are not the only one there, brother. You are not the only one there, dude. Who loves it when a donk hits hard and heavy. Trust me. I would be excited like when I heard how that gonna bounce. Hits harder. When we lost the Euros. Oh dear. Anyway, this has completely not gone to plan tonight. I came on the computer to actually start a donk track myself. However, I ended up just doing a whole load of other things, and now I need to think about hitting the hay because work. Work calls tomorrow. So I'm gonna cut this live. Can you donk me live? I might come live, and I might. So I've got an idea for a track. It's been donked a couple of times, but I just really like the vocal. So I might come live. Not tomorrow. I don't think. Depends what time I get home. I might come live and donk live, and we'll make the tune live. I'm not certain, but we'll see. And then we'll kind of see how it goes, and we'll just see what happens. Um, but yeah, let's do it. But we'll do it sometime. Either tomorrow, Thursday, maybe Friday. Not entirely sure. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna cut from this one because I need to hit the hay. I need to get laid to hit the hay. But we'll do it at some point in the next day or so when I get time. Let's donk each other late at night. Oh dear. But yeah. Um, yeah. All right. Well, like, comment, share, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you soon.